I'm hoping this is my first and last video about Comcast because I am no longer one of their customers, but I thought I would fill you guys in on how complicated it was just to do something as simple as canceling your service provider, which Comcast doesn't like happening, so they're gonna make it as difficult as possible. Let's begin. So yes, we're all switched over completely to Starlink now. I won't review it in this video. The long short of it is we're happy with it. It's good enough. I have some negative things to say about it, but I'll save that for my review. Essentially, we tried it for a few days, and after just a couple days of usage, we were convinced we don't want to be on Comcast anymore. So a reminder for some of you, Comcast does not have equal pricing everywhere. I think a lot of people misunderstand this. They see the rates and they see the plans they have available where they live, and they think, oh, that's what everybody else in the country has, right? It's not true. They change their rates depending on location and dependent on what types of cables you have in your area and how much demand there is in your area. They have different prices for different plans, and they're also changing their plans all the time and locking people into specific contracts that you can't always get out of. So where we live specifically, we were paying for the best possible tier they had because I really care about upload speed, and the only way to get their top tier upload speed, which is only 40 megabits per second, was to pay for their gigabit plan, which is 1,000 megabits download. For the record, I never saw speeds that fast, even with Ethernet plugged in. I never got the speed to be over that. But either way, you had to spend that much money in order to get 40 megabits up. That ended up costing us around $110 a month, and both me and my wife work from home, but that does not include unlimited data, which means after you use a terabyte, they start charging you overage fees. And because both me and my wife were using a lot of data, they started charging us on top of the $110 a month. So we decided, because of how much data we were using, it made more sense to opt for their unlimited tier, which is an additional $30 a month, which meant that yes, for a while we were spending $140 on our internet service, and then for no reason whatsoever, month to month, they started increasing the rates. I don't know if these were some kind of service fees or some kind of change in performance. We didn't notice it, but it was slowly approaching $150 a month, and it showed no sign of stopping. So once we found out that we could work comfortably off of Starlink, we were like, okay, how can we get off Comcast? Because their customer service was crappy, and the whole setting up process of Xfinity where we live was really annoying and frustrating, because when we first signed up, we told them very clearly and from the beginning, we don't want a home phone, we don't want a security system, we don't want cable TV. All we need is internet, okay? We have no interest in watching old cable TV. I never even had that growing up. I never saw the point of it. It felt expensive and full of ads, and the quality sucked. I don't watch sports, I don't watch the news. We just needed internet. And essentially they told us that it would be more expensive for us to just have internet. In fact, it would be cheaper for us to get internet and cable TV bundled together, which makes no sense in my mind. But if we just wanted internet, it was going to end up costing us like 20 or 30 bucks more a month. So we were obviously like, okay, well, we're not going to use the cable TV package, but if it results in a lower rate, fine, we'll do the bundle. So we got the cable TV and internet package, and when we first moved in here, I plugged in the coax cable to the modem and set it up with the router and everything. I was calling them and said, hey, where's my service? It's not turning on. Why can't my service be activated? And they were saying, oh, it's because you haven't set up your cable TV box yet, which we have to provide you. So they have to ship you this thing. You have to plug it in and get it activated and set it up in order for them to turn on your Wi-Fi. Even though that's a completely separate thing, they will not activate your Wi-Fi until you turn on the cable TV package, which we didn't want in the first place, and we had to get separate equipment for. So I was already frustrated with this whole process. As soon as you activate the Wi-Fi, you can unplug the cable TV box, never use it again, and the internet will still stay activated. So it's not like they need the cable TV box to be on. They just require you to turn it on. Otherwise, they're not going to give you Wi-Fi. I don't know what kind of backwards logic this is. Why can't they just provide Wi-Fi? I wouldn't even have to take the cable TV box and the cable TV remote. Wouldn't need any of that stuff. It would literally save them time and money, but no, they insist that I have it, and this is how I get a lower rate. It makes no sense. But basically, we set it up when we first moved in here. The speeds were pretty good, and reliability was decent. There was still a few times it cut out. I won't say it was perfect, but pretty good. But anyway, we got Starlink set up. We're ready to be done with Comcast, so I called them on February 27th because our next billing date was going to be March 2nd, and we didn't want to be charged for a whole nother month of Comcast that we weren't really planning on using. So that's why we got them on the phone. We would actually like to just cancel the service completely. Is that possible? And the person I talked to was very clear when I asked them. I said, is there any cancellation fees? And will we be charged further if we cancel today? And they made it very clear. They said, nope, you will not receive any cancellation charges. And I asked them 2-3 times, will we get another bill after this? I'm only canceling and calling today because I don't want to get charged again. And they said multiple times, you won't get charged again. There won't be another bill. You're calling in to cancel today. It's effective immediately. You won't get another bill from us. This is the end of your billing cycle and we're going to close out your account. So I thought I had this all figured out. I thought it was pretty simple. They said we were all canceled and everything, and then they hung up, and I thought, cool, so Xfinity is gone. But then March 2nd rolled around and they dropped their huge full price bill in our email and said, hey, it's time to pay again. So obviously I was very upset because I had a huge phone call with someone who explained to me multiple times there would be no cancellation fee and no additional billing after this cancel date. So I go online instead of calling someone in because I felt like this is probably not working because I tried to call in already. I go on online chat. They tell me, oh yes, by the way, if you want to cancel your service, they had completely lost all record of me requesting cancellation in the first place. They never knew the phone call even took place, even though it was their phone number, their phone line, their customer service and everything. They never heard of it. So when I was talking to their online chat, it was like they were hearing this for the first time. First of all, I find it very stupid. There's nowhere on the website to just cancel your services. It should not be a manual like phone call or meet up in person to tell someone, hey, I don't want to pay for this service anymore. Like even Starlink on their front page where you pay your bill and everything has like a giant cancel service button. You can just press it once. You go through like 2 options and say, nope, I'm done. Please cancel my service now. That's it. And that's how it is with pretty much any other service I've ever seen except Xfinity, where if I go onto the online chat and say, I want to cancel my service, it says, oh, well, what kind of service would you like to cancel? Or are you moving? Do you want to transfer service? It's like, no, I'm just done with you guys. You suck. I'm trying to cancel. And then they're like, oh, okay, we'll get you in touch with a specialist and maybe they can help you with that problem. It's like, you are my problem. Why do we have to talk to someone? So I talked to someone. It took about an hour to actually go through with the cancellation process because for one, they told me there is a cancellation fee and also you're going to be prorated for these additional days that we weren't even using the service. They were like, oh no, that's prorated because apparently the longer we were on this service plan, the more expensive the bill was going to get. Even though the person on the phone told me the service was canceled, apparently it wasn't. And even though my coax cable was disconnected, literally 0 data was going to our house, they still decided to charge us for that. So I was obviously pretty angry. He tried to give me the whole, hey, like, what's your next provider gonna be? I can offer you a rate or I could give you some kind of discount. And I was like, no, I don't care if Comcast was gonna try to offer me some kind of cheaper plan. In my opinion, I should not have to order and install a second internet service provider in order to get a better rate with my last one. That's ridiculous. I'm annoyed that they didn't cancel my service in the first place, so I'm done using you guys. I very much believe in the vote with your wallet mentality of supporting different businesses, and I am just fed up with this company. I don't want to support them anymore. I don't even care if their speeds are fast or the service is more reliable. I'm done rewarding them with my money, so I want this to all stop. I kept saying, I'm not interested in any cheaper plan you have. I've already set up my new ISP. I'm not going to go through the process of uninstalling it and mailing it all back just because you now feel like giving me a cheaper rate. For the past few months, you've been increasing my rates and not including unlimited data with your plans. So at the first second I threatened to leave, then they're like, oh, okay, we'll be nice now. I don't like that business practice. Sorry, I'm sick of that. And after pushing and explaining to them, hey, you guys said there wouldn't be a cancellation fee. Now there's a cancellation fee. They kept saying there's nothing we can do about that. And that phone call isn't on our record and we don't know what you're talking about. And after fighting with him for a while, I just finally said, okay, we'll pay the additional prorated days, even though we weren't using the service at all. And we tried to cancel this beforehand. I just said, okay, what is the prorated bill? What's our final account bill? And how do we close this account? What do I have to pay to get you guys off my back? And he told us $96 because apparently when you're going off of the daily prorate system, they jack up the prices way higher. So even though it was hardly a full billing cycle, they wanted to charge us nearly a full billing cycle despite not utilizing the service in the first place. So I was pretty ticked off. I asked if they could lower that, and I said that this is unacceptable, and I was angry. Ultimately, it led to nothing, and the bill ended up being $104, even after the guy said it would be $96. But frankly, I'd wasted so much time both on the phone and on online chat that I just wanted to be done with this, and I had already seen stories of people online having to go to Comcast stores and having collective agencies come after them because they chose to not pay Comcast. I was just kind of sick of all that, and I wanted to be done, so we paid it, and they should be officially canceled now. But I just wanted to say the whole process of sending in a cancellation request, they didn't present us with the final bill that was $105 until March 15th, as in just yesterday, and we originally called in to cancel and stop using the service on February 27th. It should not take over 2 weeks to tell a company you don't want to use their services anymore, and that's why Comcast to me is unacceptable. And the fact that the rates kept going up for no reason, they were not providing faster speeds or additional services, they were just feeling like, you know what, let's screw these people, they're working from home and they seem to be using a lot of data, so let's start doing overage fees, and now they're paying for unlimited data, let's just raise the price, why not? We want some money, let's have some extra cash. So I was very frustrated with them. I'm glad to be done, but the process took way too long, and I hope that they can learn their lesson from this and learn that it should not be this complicated to set up internet or cancel internet. And simply because of them including that little cable TV box and everything, we had to drive it to an Xfinity store, which is many, many miles from where I live. It's not close by. So it's the most dated, pathetic business model. I despise it, and I'm glad I'm not rewarding them with my cash anymore, and I'm willing to take a hit in speeds and reliability if it means I don't have to deal with their BS any longer. So there's your story. No more Comcast. Hope I never have to go back to them. Let me know your worst Comcast stories down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. This is your Apple Shapiro. We'll see you in the next one.